A 23-year-old man named Daniel Park sat down at a piano in a practice room in Seoul on a Thursday afternoon in 2039. He had never played a note in his life. He placed his fingers on the keys the way you place your hands on the steering wheel of a car you have never driven. Carefully. Incorrectly. And then a small device behind his right ear blinked once, and he closed his eyes. And 10 seconds later, he opened them and played Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat major from beginning to end without a single mistake. The device was called Leap. It cost about the same as a semester of music lessons, and it did in 10 minutes what 10,000 hours of practice had never guaranteed. The technology had been coming for a long time. In 2024, Neuralink implanted its first chip in a human patient named Noland Arbaugh, who used it to control a computer cursor with his thoughts. By 2026, they had 21 patients worldwide. Back in 2016, researchers at HRL Laboratories had already shown that applying electrical stimulation to the motor cortex could accelerate how fast pilots learned to fly. The pieces were all there. Someone just had to put them together. Here is the part that nobody expected. The downloading worked perfectly. Within 6 months of Leap's release, 14 million people had downloaded at least one skill. Piano was the most popular, then Mandarin, then Jiu-Jitsu, then Python programming. The skills were real. The muscle memory was real. The fluency was real. People could do things they had never practiced, as if they had practiced their entire lives. And within a year, nobody cared. That was the part that broke everything. When anyone could play Chopin, Chopin stopped mattering. When anyone could speak 5 languages, fluency became as unremarkable as being able to tie your shoes. The skill was there, but the thing that made the skill valuable, the years, the failure, the 2 in the morning practice sessions, the teacher who believed in you before you believed in yourself, that part was missing. And it turned out that part was the part that mattered. Anders Ericsson, the psychologist who studied expertise for 30 years, found that 10,000 hours of deliberate practice was not actually a rule. It explained only about a quarter of the difference between experts and beginners. The rest was something harder to measure. It was the relationship between the person and the thing they were learning. The frustration that became patience. The failure that became resilience. The moment, after months of getting it wrong, when your fingers finally found the right chord and you understood, not just knew, but understood, what music was for. Daniel Park could play Chopin. He could play it perfectly, but he could not tell you why it mattered. He could not tell you what the music meant to him because it had never cost him anything. And the strange truth about human beings is that we do not value what we have not earned, not because we are ungrateful, but because the earning is where the meaning lives. He took the device off on a Sunday morning. He sat at the piano and played one note, then another, badly, slowly, the way everyone starts, and for the first time in his life, he was actually learning. The most valuable thing humans ever do is not the thing they do perfectly. It is the thing they do badly, and then again, until the doing becomes part of who they are. Every tomorrow leaves an echo. We'll be listening for the next one. Next on Echoes of Tomorrow, the day lying became impossible.